To define a method in Ruby, we use the def and end keywords. We can pass arguments to the method by putting them inside parentheses. When we invoke the method, we can also use parentheses. If you have multiple arguments to the method, you can separate them with commas. And if I wanted to invoke the method without parentheses, it would look like this. It's also possible to define the method without using parentheses. So I get the same result. If I want to return a value from a method, I can do it without using a return statement. I could also use a return statement here if I wanted to make things explicit, and it has the same effect. There are some particular naming conventions for methods in Ruby in some specific cases. For methods that return a boolean value, the convention is to use a question mark at the end of the method name, such as in this example where the equal method is used to inquire whether n1 is equal to n2, and the value true is returned. Another convention in Ruby has to do with using the exclamation point to indicate when a method changes the object that it's called on in a destructive way. In this example, I've created a string, the cat says meow, and I've called the delete method on the message object to delete the characters M and E. When I look at the output, I see that, as expected, meow has changed to ow. If I output the message object, I see that the object has not changed. The change that appeared to happen to the object was in fact a temporary one that was limited to this method call. If I call the version of the delete method that ends with an exclamation point, I'm going to be using the destructive version of the delete method. So this will change the message object. I'm going to comment out this code to make things more clear. So this line of code is resulting in the letters ME being removed from the last word. And then if I output the message after this call, I see that the change has persisted. Unlike earlier when I called the delete method without the exclamation point at the end of the method. The exclamation point is supposed to serve as a warning to the user of the method that, hey, watch out, this is going to change your object. Another convention has to do with using the equal sign at the end of a method name when the method is a setter. That is, it sets a variable like an instance variable in a class. So in this example I have a cat class with two methods, color and age, which set the instance variables color and age. And down here I define a cat object and I invoke the color and age methods, passing the values blue and 2 to them respectively. And then I use the p method from the kernel class to inspect the cat object, and I see that the color variable and the age variable have been set to blue and 2. This is an example of how you would use default arguments in a method. In this case the default argument is goodbye, but I'm calling the method by passing an explicit argument hello. So the default is ignored and the value that's printed is the one that I pass to the method. If I remove the explicit argument, the default will be used. If I want to pass a variable number of arguments to a method, I can prefix an argument with an asterisk, and that argument will be treated as an array. So in this example, I'm passing two values to the method, and both get stored in this message object. And then I'm calling the p method from the kernel class to inspect this array. And if you look at the output, you can see from the brackets on either side of the output and the comma separating the values that this is an array. If I want to create an alias for a method, I can use the alias keyword. Here I'm creating an alias for the speak method, so I can invoke the hello method and it will have the same effect as calling the speak method.